And welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Show. I am Chris. Rob and Joe are in the house. Remember, you can ask us a question at 800-808-5548. We want to hear from you.
You know, I was dying to ask. I didn't get to ask Elisa about the Fresh Prince. How's he doing?
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That is correct. You know, but I think it's Bel-Air,
I didn't think about it until after she was
like
gone.
A Michael Roddy joke, actually. Who's in the house today? So, anyway, I would love to introduce someone from Prudential Anderson Property, which is my company, is Stephen Hallmark. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you very much. And before we, get started on the segment, I do want to say that you should go to this the Real Estate Rat Pack's Facebook page because they very much have a very classic photo up.
Yes, follow us on that. So,
and we tell everybody, definitely go out there and like us, Real Estate Rat Pack, on Facebook. We want to get our likes up. Thank you very much for that,
likes
Steve.
up. Yeah, we want to get that going. We've got a lot of traction going on the Rat Pack. We're getting known out there. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're getting known. Anyway, Stephen,
it's good to be known outside of the post office, the wall where we're used to, Rob.
Now you're throwing me off. Okay, we're all professionals. Don't do this at home, folks. Stephen, you work inside the Loop, and I know you work the Heights and areas like that. Talk to me about the arena in which you work in.
The main arena is the Heights, Washington Avenue, Rice Military Corridor is the main arena. A lot of, in the Heights, obviously, traditional older homes, but with a lot of remodeling and some new construction going on. And then, of course, the Washington Corridor, or Rice Military, you do have more condensed living, but they're 2-3-story type townhome high-rises area of town.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Lisa, which is, what are you seeing there? I mean, inventory? What's the product like?
We're seeing very limited inventory, almost zero. I did a search this past week over there in the Washington Avenue, Rice Military area, really at 350 and lower, and I basically came up with 4 homes on the market that were 3 bedrooms or larger, and it's a fast moving market.
You know, folks, we're seeing a common theme out there. List your property. We're begging you.
That's a common theme on the show every week. Also,
right?
Rob
this
always
is the
saying
theme
that.
of the show. I mean, we're going to have to start asking. Hey, I've got 2 buyers, and one of them just put in a higher offer than you. Are you okay with living together?
Well,
just let them move in for a while.
What I'm seeing a lot with the low inventory, and I'm seeing it, is that there are sellers out there, or potential sellers, that are not putting their home on the market for a couple of factors. One is a few years ago we received a lot of phone calls regarding, hey, should I buy now? Has the market hit its bottom? Hey, should I buy now? Now I'm receiving calls the opposite of saying, should I list now? Do you think it'll go up? Should I list now? And so I think some sellers are a little hesitant to put their homes on the market, and so we're losing that inventory aspect of it. And especially in my market over there in Rice Military, where you have traditionally a younger couple, they haven't had their first child yet and moved out to possibly the suburbs, is when they are moving, we're finding that they're renting those homes instead of selling them because of interest rates and rents being so high. So again, I think it's contributing to a lot of low inventory.
Weren't you also seeing a very small selection of rentals? I've talked to agents that we can't find anything to rent.
You cannot find anything to rent, especially in that area where there is very much a trendy lifestyle for young professionals aged 25 to 33. There's lots of restaurants, nice bars, a lot of activity to do, and we are seeing that that's where the young professionals want to move, and the owners or the landlords are definitely in demand over there.
Yeah, the apartment association just released some numbers that they're 94% occupancy for apartments, and that's very high. And so even the apartments are experiencing a lot of, and of course that takes into account some apartments are probably not as desirable, but the high enders are full. So not even finding rentals for that type of thing. So what do you do when you get, and I know you do a lot of relocation business, and they're coming into town and having to buy something, and you don't find something. What do you do?
That can be very frustrating, and it's frustrating not only for myself when I'm working with a buyer, and I hear and I'm seeing the frustration with other realtors when they're working with those buyers. The biggest idea is really to try to help that buyer understand to be patient and to show them the market, to show them that there is very limited inventory. So we do need to have a little bit more patience and at the same time be aggressive when we see something that comes on the market we like.
Let's talk about new construction. What type of availability do you see in new construction? Is there activity right now?
They're similar to what Lisa mentioned in Bel-Air. There's a desirability for a lot of lots are going, and builders are competing for that. There is new construction. We're seeing that because of a past market, we're seeing that builders can't build fast enough. And when they are starting projects, we're seeing buyers go to them before the builder has even cut ground, so to speak, to lock into homes that are potentially being built.
And I noticed in the Heights there were lots you could buy at $30 a foot are now going for $35 and $40 a foot. And people are going, I'll pay it. And they just pass the cost along to the buyer. Is that what you're seeing as well?
I'm seeing some lots go to $50 a foot. I
my.
recently had an experience where I had a remodeled bungalow in the Heights, and it was very nicely done. And we had multiple offers on it from a buying market because it was a remodeled bungalow. And a builder stepped in and offered us a nice sum above the two buyers, and he basically is removing the house and is going to build something there, and I'd never seen that before.
Well, that's a great segue because I've been using Stephen's experience on one listing Stephen had, and that was, why don't you talk about that listing?
Well, I know Lisa attributed a little bit to this when she talked about the appraisals and talking to appraisers on market value. If you think about it, real estate's one of the few markets where we as an industry, we base a product, a home, on what past sales have done, which, of course, as Rob mentioned, it's what a willing seller will sell for and what a willing buyer to buy for. So I put this home on the market based on past sales, and it really blew me away. In 2.5 days, I had 91 showings and 27 offers I brought to my client. And that's when I realized that this market is definitely not what past markets have been.
I was talking to someone the other day who's also a producer inside the loop, and she was telling me that it's just not fun anymore right now. So that, it's not a balanced market. It's just very even for the sellers. It's tough because they're getting inundated, and basically they're telling their agents, "Stop it! My neighbors are complaining about all the cars in the street." Is that you hearing that too?
I'm hearing that. On that particular home, I had a realtor from my office who showed it, and he sent me a text message that night. And down the street is a fast food restaurant, and he sent me a text message saying, "Stephen, there are more realtors in front of this house than there are in cars in the parking lot of this fast food restaurant at 6:30 on a Friday night."
So what I'm hearing is if you want to throw a big party and have a lot of guests, just list your house.
Yeah, exactly.
And, of course, invite the Rat Pack when you do that, okay?
Yeah.
Alluding to what Rob was saying is, it can be somewhat frustrating, I think, sometimes for sellers, and I'm seeing more and more realtors doing this, is they're putting, especially listing a house, I like to, on a hot market, is say, please, we want to give you time to show this house to all your buyers, because my job is to bring my seller the highest and best offer. So a lot of times I'd like to set guidelines or goals of saying, we'll accept all offers on this particular day of the week. We're going to review them on this particular day, and then we'll make our decision on this particular day. And it gives the buying public a chance to come in, view the house, and it does relax my seller a little bit more, knowing that there's an end to the ultimate goal.
Now, I didn't ask Lisa this question, but I'm going to ask you this question. And sometimes when you're worried about too much traffic, are you doing pocket listings? Are you seeing pocket listings out there?
We are hearing more and more about pocket listings, and I will give you my personal opinion on pocket listings. I personally feel as a listing agent, I do not like to hold pocket listings and sell to a particular pocket of realtors. I think my job as a listing agent is to sell my client's home for the highest dollar in the quickest amount of time. And if I don't open that up to the public and my clients wants me to, then I'm not getting them top dollar.
Yeah, I think Lisa had a comment on that. What do you think about that, Lisa?
Well, I wanted that question because I concur. You really need to, the pocket listings, they sound great because you don't get traffic in a seller, and seller thinks that that's wonderful. But the fact of the matter is, when you open it up to the public and you put it on MLS, you're exposing it to the masses. And when you expose it to the masses, you're going to get a higher dollar than if you just do a pocket listing.
Exactly.
I totally agree.
Exactly.
And what was funny is when you asked that question and Stephen answered that question, the whole group in the background was all shaking their head.
Well, good.
It's just a reality of the market, and there's some people that are rationalizing the fact is that I don't want to put my seller through this. And they're
Right.
also doing some things that they would normally do with a normal listing, which is they don't want to move for a few months. So we're going to move to a pocket listing. If you want to buy it, my sellers are going to stay in it for 3 or 4 months while their house is being built. So there's some rationale to do a pocket listing. But I agree with both of these people here. I think you get the highest and best offer when you put it out to the realtor community.
And I would agree as well. I'll give you an example. I had a home that I was evaluating the other day. I have 7 investment properties that I lease out. Several of them are corporate rentals. And so I was evaluating either continuing on a long-term lease with a major oil company or putting my property on the market, right? And it's a very desirable area, very, very heavy. And so I interviewed multiple agents there, and one of them said, if you want to, why don't you just put it on a pocket listing if you're not willing to put it on the market yet? I understand something like that because it was still being leased out. It was still not available to put on the market. It still has 2 months to go before it was ending. But to use that as a mechanism to actually go out there and to put your home on the market, I don't think it's a good mechanism, as Lisa was saying, and Stephen as well. Guess what? You're not going to get the highest and best offer on that, and it's not going to go out to the masses.
You don't know.
And it's not going to go out to the masses because part of what you're looking at doing is making sure that you can expose that home to the best available opportunity for an individual to look at it and make an offer on it.
I just want to toss in too that it's certainly a subject that it has a lot of strong feelings about it. We have discussions on the Rat Pack page on Facebook, so another reason to go there. And there was a discussion there. So one realtor very strongly felt that we're going to see some lawsuits come up in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, that was
over
Richard
this
Weekly
kind of
up in our Dallas listener.
Yeah. For sure, this subject is something that brings out a lot of strong feelings.
And just in case people don't know what a pocket listing is, it's basically a listing where you've got an agreement with a seller to sell the house for them, but they don't put it on our multiple listing service. And so they kind of hold it in-house and probably network within their own office or within the network of people they typically work with, but they don't put it out to the masses. So that's what a pocket listing is. Is that everyone's understanding of it? Everybody shake their head.
Exactly,
yes. Okay.
That's what I definitely understand. We are going to be coming up against a break again. I want everybody to know that you can reach us at 800-808-5548. I also want to give you an opportunity to let us know how we can reach you if you don't mind.
You can reach me at my cell phone number, which is 832-228-1659, or you can email me, very simple, hallmark@stephenhallmark.com. Again, that's Hallmark, just like the cards. And Stephen
I need to pick up a Mother's Day card.
That's why I'm doing this radio show and not in the Caribbean right now.
And everyone listening out there, they're giving out their cell phone numbers. You can call right now any one of the agents that you hear. You can call them. It's their cell phone numbers. They won't answer maybe right now since they're in the studio, but as soon as this thing's finished, trust me, they will be picking up your phone call. We are coming up against a break right now. We really appreciate everyone being on board here. When we come back, we also have OneGuard in the studio. They're going to talk very briefly about home warranty, which goes along very well with everything we're talking about, and then we're coming back to speak more about what's going on inside the loop. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What